Hello! So if you didn't know, I went to SCAD last year for a quarter, and then I left, and I made videos while I was there, and then I made a video after I left talking about why I left. I'll link the why I left video below if you want to watch it. So it's a story time about SCAD. I have my computer here with me as always, just for fact checking. I'm gonna be checking my old emails and kind of reading off everything so I can get it pretty precise. Keep in mind, this was my first time going to college. I dual enrolled when I was in high school, but this was my first time actually going to college. Before I get into the details, there are a couple things you need to know. First of all, I will not be mentioning any SCAD faculty names in this video. I don't do that. And second is just about the dorm. So the dorm setup, there is only one dorm in the Atlanta campus. It is co-ed. Girls and boys don't actually share rooms, but girls and boys do share hallways. And because of this, SCAD sticks to a very strict policy. If you are a student there and you have a visitor over, if they are the same sex, you have to go through this complicated process of making an appointment for them to stay, and it has to be days in advance. My roommate faced this when she tried to have a friend over, and that friend couldn't come over because they hadn't planned far enough in advance. And that's for the same sex. For the opposite sex, they have to check out by 2 a.m. You check your visitors in and out with an ID. Everything is super secure, which is nice. Except for when it backfires. So there are these rules in place, and I get it. If a rule is there and it makes sense, I will stick to it. So this rule kind of made sense. You know, they don't want a bunch of people coming in and partying. It's a no drinking campus. SCAD is big on their policy. So occasionally on the weekends, my boyfriend would come over, and every time we checked him in at the front desk, that's an entirely separate story time. Not really, I won't actually make a video about it. But basically, it just takes a really long time. Like, a really long time for them to check in people. I don't know if they've gotten any quicker since I've left, but for that entire first quarter, it was about a 15-minute process of just standing there waiting for them to type the name into the computer. It took a while. After being checked in, they give you a little sticker that just has your name on it, and sometimes it has a completely different face than yours. I don't know. Again, maybe they fixed that by now. It was a new dorm. It was a new system, so. But my boyfriend had his ID. He had this little sticker that said who he was, and until he checked out that day or, night, by 2 a.m., he could come in and out of the building as long as he was with me. So I think it was a Friday when he came. He was off school. He got off school early, and he was on his way somewhere north of Atlanta, so he stopped by to see me for a couple hours. We checked him in and hung out for that allotted time, and he had to leave by 2. Yeah, he had to leave by 2 in order to be where he needed to be. So we went downstairs, checked him out, and he went on his way. Originally, I was going to go with him because I was going to meet my parents halfway to go home for the weekend. But plans changed, and so I ended up staying at SCAD. And then plans changed again, and that night my mom ended up coming to Atlanta and picking me up and taking me home for the weekend. So either way, I was gone. I came back Sunday night in time for classes Monday. Everything seemed normal until Thursday of that next week. And I get an email. Okay, so a little bit of a backstory. In high school, I was pretty much the teacher's pet. I've always been a good student. Remember that thing about following all the rules if they make sense? Yeah, that was me. That still is me. I don't kiss up to the teachers or anything. I do my work and I enjoy it, and I guess they see that, so they usually take a liking to me. I'm not trying to be arrogant here. I'm really just explaining my experiences with school. So I've never really been in deep trouble, and I get this email that says I've violated student conduct, and I know how serious SCAD is about all of their policies. So my heart just kind of freezes, And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what did I do? What did I do? Did I do something wrong? What could I possibly have done wrong? I stay at the dorm all week unless I'm spending time with my boyfriend. I don't go anywhere. What did I do? So I read the email, and I'll read it from my laptop for accuracy's sake. Incidents that occurred on October 12th. Dear Julia, the Office of Student Conduct has received a report concerning your alleged violation of student conduct. This violation is alleged to have occurred at 40, and then it lists our room number. Specifically, the information indicates that you did not sign out your guest. So at this point, I'm like, okay, it's just saying that I didn't sign out a guest, which I did, so I can just explain that I did. But I keep reading, and I'm given the option to either accept responsibility for this failure of student conduct, which I'm not going to do because it's not true. I did sign out the guest. So my other option is to deny responsibility, which, yes, that's the one I'm going to choose. Under denying responsibility, it says, you may choose to deny responsibility for the above violations and have a hearing as outlined in the Code of Student Conduct. Should you choose to do so, you will need to contact me, and then it lists an email, no later than October 19th to set up a hearing. October 19th was 2 days from this point. So immediately, me being the goody two-shoes person that I am, I turn around and type back an email to this person with the given email address saying, I deny responsibility, here's my schedule, and I list my schedule for that week. In the email, it said that failure to respond by October 19th, which I guess if it was Thursday and it was 17th, then that would have been the Saturday. If I didn't respond by Saturday, my account could be on hold. I didn't really know what that meant. It was scary sounding enough that it prompted me to respond right away. So Saturday rolls around, and I haven't heard back from this person, but that's my deadline day, so I don't really know what to do. I kind of just leave it be for now, thinking that maybe they'll get back to me next week. But I don't hear from anyone next week. I type out my schedule for the week, and I send it, and I explain that I had a guest that day, but I did check him out, and I actually left myself. I'm basically saying, I'm a good student, I promise. I would never violate student conduct on purpose. I don't deserve the label. After a week of this not knowing what's happening, I decide to go and talk to someone in person. So I don't really know who to talk to, but I go down into the bottom of 40 and there are a bunch of representatives there. So I just talk to someone, and eventually I get talking to the person that I emailed and hadn't heard back from. I explain what happened in person, and she takes me to talk to the front desk people because it turns out there had been a glitch in the system on that Friday. So what that means is a lot of people who did check out their visitors, something with the computer glitched or messed up, and those people were counted as still there. Either that or the person who was supposed to take the little sticker, the sticker ID that a visitor gets, the person that was supposed to take that from my visitor and type it into the system that they were leaving failed to do that. I don't really know which it is. Could be either. But what had happened was, because I left that Friday night, when 2 a.m. rolled around, the RA for our floor came to my room, knocked. I must not have been there, so they filed it under student conduct, I guess. I don't really know. No one really knew, because there's this email saying that I violated student conduct, but then there's no real person backing it. And it sent me into a frenzy of, oh no, what did I do? What can I do to fix it? And then all these people are just looking at me like, calm down, child. But no, whoever wrote that email was saying it was a big deal. I didn't want my account on hold. I wanted to deny responsibility and clear this up. I was ready to make my case. I had evidence. There was evidence of my boyfriend being at this other place that he had to be at 3 in the afternoon. So there was evidence that he was not at SCAD. I wasn't at SCAD. I don't know. I don't know what the school wanted from me. Maybe they just like scaring students. I guess it was right around Halloween. So maybe they were trying to play into that. I wish I had some sort of ending to the story. Some sort of closure, not only for you guys, but for myself. But I sent my schedule multiple times, and never heard back. Which I guess, you know, after a couple weeks, I just kind of let it go and was like tiptoeing away from a mess that I know I didn't actually create, but people around me are looking at me thinking that I possibly created it. So yeah, oh, SCAD. Sometimes it feels like my time at SCAD was this really weird dream. Like I have really weird dreams, but it sometimes feels like SCAD is just this really weird dream that doesn't make sense. You know, where like loose ends just kind of go different ways and end abruptly. If you're going to SCAD, have fun. You know, I had a good time. I'm not saying that it was so weird and just like uncomfortable. It was fun. It was a candy land. So thank you so much for watching. I've had this coffee since the beginning of the video, so it is now cold. Okay, I'm leaving now. Thank you for watching. Bye.